All right, guys, I think it's time for us to start. Those people who are not here now, I really don't know, but it's because they're gonna be missing a lot, but I can't keep waiting. All right. So let's quickly start very fast. It's no longer news that there's a lot of things happening. Afghan and Pakistan having the issue they're having. And then when we thought we've heard it all, of course, we had a joint military strike between US and Israel on Iran, right? And this happened all on the weekend. This happened all on the weekend. And that's why I tell people never let your trade linger over the weekend because you don't know what's going to happen. Mostly in this administration, where anything happens, major things happen during the weekends. Major things happen during the weekends. Now, everything has been going on. There's been a lot of things right now, and we've been hearing rumors. We don't know how true is it yet, but it's looking true already that the supreme leader of Iran, has been taken off, by those strikes by the US, by those joint military strike between the US and Israel, and there's a lot of celebration and jubilation going on. Now, that is for the people of Iran and those involved. Now, what impact is this having on the market, and how do we take advantage of it? Well, it's quite simple. You see, the first thing you need to understand is that this war, or this military strike between Iran and Israel, is not over yet. All right, it's not over yet. We are still in the beginning of things. There's still a lot of things that is yet to happen. So there's still a lot of things that are still going to happen in within this period. It's not over yet. There's still a lot of surprises that is still going to be happening. Right. What was surprising for me was that on Friday there was a lot of bullish pressure. If you remember, on Friday there was a lot of bullish pressure towards the end of market, towards the close of market, and I was wondering what could be causing this bullish pressure. So I guess, one way or the other, we were getting those bullish pressure because there was already some level of, rumors going around that there was going to be a military action taken on Iran. There was, Trump was already hinting it and all that and all that. So a lot of people were already, going into the market. Now, as at this morning, when markets opened, of course, two major instruments were majorly affected, widely affected. The first one was gold and silver, but gold being the major attention. And then we saw price jumping. Gold opened with a gap up this morning, and then went, as far as I think 5,300. From 5,200, gold jumped in less than 5 minutes to 5,300. In less than 5 minutes, I was there. I was looking at the chart. In less than 5 minutes. Same thing with crude oil. Crude oil opened with a 13% increase, a 13% increase in less than 2 minutes. And then price eventually, of course, covered the gap. And as I'm speaking to you right now, the price of crude oil is still moving, so much. So what we're going to be doing this morning is we're going to be looking at how we can take advantage of this news. What other news are we expecting for the week? And see how we can start from there. Let's quickly go to the chart very quickly and look at some of these things happening live on the chart. Now, this is the chart. I hope you can see my screen anyway. Let me quickly get feedback from us. Can we see my screen? I'm on my chart. All right, thank you. Okay. So this is crude oil. The symbol for crude oil is XBR USD. That's Brent. XBR USD. XBR USD, right? And you can see this is Brent oil. We have XTI or XBRI USD. I think that's for WTI. So, but this is Brent. I think that was SWT or SWTI, something like that. But I'm focusing on Brent majorly because it's more global than WTI. Now, if you look at what crude oil is doing right now, this was the gap up. So price actually opened here this morning. This was where crude oil opened, and then we saw price, of course, cover that gap, and then eventually, or tried to cover the gap, at least over 50% of the gap, and then eventually we are seeing price pushing away right now. What we are expecting is a break and retest of this particular structure. So if I go to the 5 minutes time frame, what I want to see on crude oil majorly is a break and retest of this particular point. I want to see a break and retest of this particular point here, right? A break and retest of this structure of course, gives me an entry. So what you want to pay attention to this morning for crude oil is you want to pay attention to 79.958. That's $79 per barrel, 0.958. That is where you want to pay attention to this morning. But let me also make you understand that there's going to be a cool-off period. In fact, we're already getting into the cool-off period where the reason why there's going to be a cool-off period is because it was announced. So most people lost money this morning on gold, not because they were not right on the buy, but because of two things. Number one, when gold moves, okay, we're going to go to gold. Let me not talk about gold now, but let's talk about crude oil first. Now, there's going to be a cool-off period. It's already happening, and the reason is because it was announced. Even though we've not confirmed it, the body has not been found and all that, but it has been announced that the supreme leader has been killed, right? So it means that the tension of the war is a little bit reduced. It means the aim and the objective of the war. That is the reason why other countries, like other Gulf countries like Dubai, Saudi Arabia, other countries that were affected by what happened. Other countries that were affected by what happened because, of course, Iran retaliated and all that, striking US military bases in all these areas. Those countries have not retaliated. They've only given a press conference of the number of injured and number of, people that, probably died from the missiles that was targeted at the US bases in their territory. But they have not retaliated. The reason is because the objective of the strike has been achieved, which is, of course, removing the supreme leader of Iran from power, either by political means or by actually taking him off in terms of killing him. Now, so there's a lot of cooling off going on right now. So the market is in a cool off stage, trying to get back itself, trying to come back to normal. So we need to also pay attention. If there is no major news, the only thing that could cause price to push up right now is if the supreme leader comes out to say, okay, I'm still alive and all that, or there's some level of retaliation from every other country that has been affected in the Gulf, towards Iran, or there's something that is still making the world to still be a little bit tense. But for now, the tension has actually, subsided a lot. And this is what is causing the price to cool off. So what I'm trying to say is this: 79.958 is actually the zone of interest, but there is a high possibility that price might not cross this point, right? There's a high possibility that price might not cross this point if there is no further military strike, if there is no further retaliation, even though the only tension we're getting right now is from the head of military, right, of Iran, and he has been saying a lot of things. He has been doing a lot of things, and that's the only tension we are having right now, right? But he has been ignored also by the United States. If you discover Trump is not saying anything about him, there is no major press conference on him from the United States. It's as if he's just, saying whatever he's saying and nobody's paying attention. So if he now goes ahead to back whatever he's saying with a strike, with an action, that is when we get that tension back, and then price resumes its volatility. I mean, it's surge to the upside in the case of oil and in the case of gold. But if we don't have that, then we might be seeing some level of pull off, price retracing back to the normal price before the strike, right? So you want to pay attention to those key levels. The first key level here, of course, is 79.958. But another key level you want to pay attention to in case there's going to be level of pushback, we're also paying attention to this dynamic level of resistance, this dynamic level of support rather. Now, the swing low that caused this price to move up, the swing low that pushed this price up was this guy, right? So this is our swing low here. This was the low that caused this movement, right? This is the low. And if you check that low, this low was also, this is not just a low, this is a major low, because you see that there was some level of consolidation around this point too, even before price was able to break it. So this is a major point that we are also expecting. If price is going to be going down, if there's going to be a cool off, we could see price pushing, breaking below this trend line, and then of course, breaking 78.055 and then going downwards to this untested level of support, and also attempting to cover this gap if at all. That is, if the cool off continues the way it has been. If there's no further tension, this is what we're going to be seeing. But if there's going to be a further tension, then we're expecting price to actually break 79.958. So it's something that you need to actually pay attention to if you trade crude oil. However, for those that trade gold, one of the things that you need to pay attention to is that gold currently, whether or not tension is coming or not, gold has been on an upward trend. I've been saying this for weeks. If you have been following me on this live webinar, you will know what I've been saying this for weeks. Gold has been looking for every opportunity to buy. One thing about gold is that if it gets to a particular point once, it would definitely find every excuse to get there again. And the reason is because the people that are involved, the individuals, the corporations, the parties that are involved in moving this asset are very powerful, right? And they are looking for how to maximize opportunity to make more profits and to make more money. Of course, it's a safe haven also. And with what's happening around the world right now, if you don't need anybody to tell you that gold is going to be having a massive surge very soon. All these things we are seeing, the surge has not happened, guys. The surge has not happened. We are still waiting for that particular thing. Gold is still waiting for something. It is going to be breaking the last higher high, I mean, the last untested level at 5,600. And by the time it breaks that, it's going to 6,000. Once it gets to 6,000, if care is not taken, we might be ending gold this year at 6,500. Yes, gold might end up at 6,500 by the end of this year. So there's a lot of potential for an upward movement on gold. So gold is just looking for every opportunity to buy. So whether or not the tension continues, as long as Afghanistan and Pakistan are still there, we are still having a lot of threats from the military leader in Iran. Trump is still being Trump and all that. There's still going to be some level of volatility on gold that you want to pay attention to. Currently, I'm expecting price. I'm expecting a buy. I want us to take a buy on gold, but I would only be taking that buy if price comes back to this point. I want to see price come here. So you can see what this thing is doing right now is going to be pushing until it gets to this point. This is a lower, this is not a higher low. I mean a higher high. This is a lower high, right? So all we need to confirm this lower high right now is a lower low. We've not gotten any lower low currently. This is still the low holding up. Once this candle has been attempting to break this low for a long time right now, we're expecting a close below that low. So a close below this low here should give us a very, very good confirmation that price is actually coming back to retest this particular zone that has been broken on the 5 minutes time frame. And if that happens, then fine, we enter. Right. Yesterday night, I told us price opened with a gap up. So this was the gap up yesterday night. This was where price opened, went up. I entered around this point yesterday. Made about, I think, made about 50% of my capital, but I didn't leave. Right, so that was my mistake. So when price, I was supposed to leave here, but price broke this particular region. So I was expecting. Normally, I knew that price was going to come back here to retest. I knew this was going to happen. You can see I thought, in fact, I said the retest was going to get to this point, so I marked this as at yesterday night. So I was expecting price to, so of course it's a zone, right? So if you're looking for a retest within that zone, what we are expecting is something like this. Let me quickly show you. So what I was expecting was something like this. It was not really a line. It's not really a line. It's actually a zone. So this is the zone. As at that time, all this had not happened. The market just opened and we saw the gap up. So I was expecting, of course, price to move within this region. I was expecting price to move within this region. So I was expecting price to retest this particular point. What I was trying to do was that I funded my account with a particular minimum amount. I was not using any stop loss because the entire amount was my stop loss. So I was expecting price to push down here to enter at this point. All right. So I made some money here. And then when price gave this reversal, of course, I came out of that trade in a loss, waiting for this to happen. And this took a lot of time. And of course, I had a very, I had this meeting this morning. There's a lot of things. I didn't want to put a buy limit because I knew that price could retest up to this point. And this is massive. From here to here, could wipe a $200 account if you're not using a very good lot. Right. So what I did was that, okay, you know what? Let me go and sleep. Let me come back this morning to check what price is doing. And as of this morning, price actually broke this level. So after breaking this level, this was the level that price took out, came back to retest it, pushed away from that point, and right now it's currently consolidating around this point. Now, what are the major things? Where will I enter again this morning? And where do I think we should enter gold as at this morning? These are the two major key levels for gold, right? The first key level is 5418.67. If this price is going to continue to up as an upward trend, it has to break 5418.67 to give us a higher high, right? But if it's going to continue, if it's going to retest, right, coming back down to retest this particular point here, then we should see price pushing to 5383.53. Now, these are the two major key levels where you want to actually look at taking your trade from. So let me give you the entry for gold this morning very quickly. Guys, please let's take these entries very important, very seriously. All right, very serious. Mostly if you trade gold. XAU USD. Of course, buy preference all the way. Buy preference. No, don't sell anything currently. Don't sell anything. Buy preference all the way. However, there are two entries. So our first entry of entry one is going to be a buy at a retest. We're going to be buying at retests. All right, a retest of 5383.53. So a retest of this zone, what we're expecting is price to push down, give us this retest, and then from this retest, we see price pushing away from this point back to the upside. Right. Let me quickly mute. I can hear some noise in the background. Hold on, please. Okay. If you have any questions, please drop it. I have co-hosts in the house who are going to assist with your questions. I can already see that we're already having answers to some of those questions already. All right. So guys, I'm not the only one having this. I'm not the only one here. I have my co-hosts, colleagues in the chat who are going to be helping me. So you can drop any question if you're confused, if you don't get anything, please, because I might not be able to say it. So the first entry is a buy at 5383.53, a retest of that zone. So we're expecting price. If price comes here, expect price to push away from that point, and then we'll take our buy there. Our stop loss for that trade is going to be at the swing low. Our stop loss for this trade is just going to be here, 5372.00. 5372.00. So 5372.00, right? Our TP for this trade. If you take that trade, your TP, well, you could leave it open, but if you want to go for a proper TP, you could get out at this point at 5415.14. 5415.14. But if I was you, I would rather break even on the trade and see how far it goes. So that's our first entry. Second entry, which is entry 2 for gold, is a break and retest of this particular structure. So a break of, well, a break and retest. Don't just look for the break, look for the retest also. A break and retest of 5418.67. In this case, our SL is just going to be below structure. I'm typing it, just hold on. So this is going to be the swing low. If we have a break and retest of this structure, it means this is the swing low. So our stop loss is just going to be below this swing low here at 5398.82. 5398.82. 5398.82. TP, you can leave it open with break even. I've dropped it. All right. Now, one of the major lessons I learned yesterday night, is that even though you are right, your entry on gold has to be very, very precise. See, you could be right on gold and still lose money. You could be right on where gold is going. You could see it clearly. It's so visible, and yet you still lose money. The reason is because of what is called entry. If your entry strategy is wrong, I tell you, gold can wipe you out and then go in your direction. If your entry strategy is wrong, gold can take you out and go in your direction. I tell you. All right. So you need to understand that one of the major things that that makes gold this volatile is that you're not the only player. We're not the only player in the system. We are one of the smallest players. So what we should be doing is to be moving with institutional flow, right? So there are institutional flow. When I mean institutional flow, there are money being injected into this market and taken out to manipulate retail traders out of the market. So it is a battle between institution traders and retail traders. Guess what? When you get liquidated, they make money. So you understanding that your money cannot move the market, but their money can move the market is the beginning of you understanding that entry is very, very key. Understanding when they are entering and when they are coming out. For example, let me give you an example. Look at what played out yesterday. All right. Look at this. Now, most people came into the market, saw this move, quickly jumped into the move on a buy, made some profits. Of course, in this kind of market, you don't want to jump out, you don't want to leave. You make some profits, you want to stay there because you know that if you leave, you have entered at a very good point. If you leave, you might not get that entry again, right? So price comes back to retest this particular point. Some people took another trade here. Price went up, still didn't break that point. At this level, there was already a change of structure. Many people didn't get it. At this point, price broke this structure, gave us this bearish engulfing pattern. At this level, I knew that there was going to be a sell. I was telling myself this market is going to sell off. And the sell-off was actually not really a sell-off. It was coming back to retest this particular point. And the objective of that is actually to take out a lot of stop loss for retail traders. A lot of people who took that trade, their stop loss would have been around this point. If you enter the trade there, your stop loss will be below structure. So this was a move to actually wipe out a lot of stop loss. So immediately price broke this point, it went back to retest at this point. I confirmed it immediately. You can see this was a break and retest. So price broke this level. You can see this level. This was a support level. Price broke it with this bearish engulfing pattern, and then went back to that same zone to give us a retest. And from that point, we saw price pushing down till it got to this zone that I had already marked. It mainly got to that zone, which was the place where the gap started from. Price opened here and went up. So it means there was a lot of demand at this point here. There's a lot of demand pressure here. So price coming back here again should know that price, number one, was going to retest this particular point. Number two, was going to give you a confirmation candle if that retest was going to happen. And this was the confirmation candle. We had a bullish engulfing pattern at this point, and then from there, price pushed away, and then continued to where we are right now. So right now, what we are expecting is either a retest of this particular point again, or a breakout and retest of this particular point. If you don't see those two things, I beg you, don't enter. Right? If you don't see those two levels, those two things playing out, just take off your mind. The reason is because entry is very key. Even if price is moving so fast, do not be deceived by the fear of missing out. It could actually put you in a bad position. If you don't get a break and retest, it's better to just stay out and just keep waiting for you to get that, because it will eventually happen. It will eventually happen. And when you get it, it's always very, very nice, because you would enter at a very, very good point with a very slim stop loss, and then you take profit. You can leave it open because price will just be trending in your direction. All right. This is for gold. Now, I've talked about gold. I've talked about oil, crude oil. Let's look at Bitcoin, BTC USD, and then we're also going to be looking at Euro USD too, very quickly. Now, BTC USD, of course, we had this market did not really move that much. The news didn't really affect the market that much. This consolidation has been happening since, almost 3 weeks ago, right? After price came to below $61,000 per unit of BTC. And we've been seeing this consolidation bouncing around these two major points. This is a downward flag anyway. So what it means is that, well, two things could happen. We could see the continuation of this pattern to the downside, or price could actually retrace back to the upside. However, I want to pay attention to what's happening right now, right? So what's going on right now is quite simple. I said this last week, and I'm going to be saying it again. Price is actually retesting, consolidating between these two zones. This is the zone of support, zone of resistance, and you can just see price bouncing around those levels. So if I go to the 5 minutes time frame and I shrink this, or I zoom in, you can see that this is a lot, right? This is a lot. So for BTC USD, currently, there's not much direction in the market. So you want to actually pay attention to, these two major zones. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. You want to pay attention to these two major zones. If you look at it from the 1 hour time frame, you discover that we have seen this level retest of here. Price is going back here to give us this level, and we are expecting if price is going to be pushing down. Since this is a lower high compared to this high, compared to this high, can you see lower highs? So we have this lower. This is lower to this is lower to this. It means there is a high possibility that price is actually going to be pushing down today also, probably to give us a retest of 62636.46, 0.48. So what we want to do is you want to pay attention. So I'm just going to be marking this out. So we have this on, I'm on the 1 hour time frame. Sorry. So we have this level on the 1 hour time frame. And if you look at this level back, if you take it back, this is a strong level of support, strong level of support. So price probably is finding this support again at 65269.31. What it means is that on the 5 minutes time frame, what I want to do is I want to wait for price to get to that point first. In the last few weeks, or is it few weeks now? Let's see. I think yeah, in the last few weeks, let's say in the last 1 week, every time price has gotten here, we have seen price pushing away. Even over the weekend, we saw the same thing. So we know that price would likely get to this point again at 65229.99. What we want is price to actually get there and then give us an entry. If we have a bullish engulfing pattern, it means we're going for a buy. And then if price breaks it and give us a retest, you can go for yourself. So it's quite simple. Your zone of your for BTC USD traders, your zone of interest right now is 65299. 65229.99. All right, because this is obviously a downward trend within the consolidation. This is a short downward trend to look for this support level. At this support level, the reaction of the candles now determines if you are buying or if you are selling. All right. And I need us to understand something, that this analysis, most of the times when we have this analysis, except we have an instant entry, an instant opportunity, it's not going to be buy now, sell now. No, that's people. What we are trying to do here is to give you a holistic view of what the market is doing so that you can take advantage of it for a longer period of time, and so that you can also learn how to trade on your own without relying on anybody. And I keep saying it, one of the beautiful part of this business is that you become self-reliant and then you become a solution to others. And that's why I do this. I can just give you the entry prices and then we call it a day, but I do a lot of analysis telling you the reason why I'm doing this, the reason why I want you to enter at this point, because I want you to begin to see those reasons. And then when you are on your own, you can actually replicate those same things and then do the same thing, even if we are not together in the platform. So it's very, very important. So BTC USD traders, please pay attention to 65229 0.99. We're expecting price to get to this point. And if you want to scalp to this point, if you want to scalp this particular level to this level now, you discover that price is retesting this level. There's a break and retest going on right now. So we can see this was the last level of support. Price, this candlestick broke this particular level, and we are seeing this candle going back to retest it for the second time. This was the first retest, price pushed away. This is the second retest. All right. If you want to scalp this, you could go for a sell with your stop loss just above the swing high. This is the swing high that caused this movement, right? So my stop loss is just going to be here. Take profit is going to be here. That's for scalpers, people that want to scalp this sell to the downside. All right. But personally, I would rather wait for price to actually get to this point and then give me, because I want to enter this trade for a longer period. If it gets to this point, there's a high possibility. If we get a rejection, a bullish rejection candle, we could enter our buy and then our stop loss below structure. Our take profit could be far around this zone. I could have my take profit around this particular point, which means I'm just going to be leaving it open and then breaking even on my trade as price begins to move up. All right. But if you're a scalper, you want to scalp, I told you, price has retested this level again right now. And then, of course, price is going to be pushing to this point. Your stop loss of this in this trade, your stop loss needs to be around this level. If you want to scalp this, if you want to scalp this sell, your stop loss needs to be here. Your take profit needs to be here. And then, of course, you are entering immediately right now because price is actually retesting this particular zone, this support that has broken. You can see this was the first retest, this is the second retest, and price is still trading away from that point right now. So before this candle shrinks totally, you can enter. Your stop loss, remember, is here. Take profit is around this point based on this break and retest structure on the 5 minutes time frame. All right, let's quickly go to the last one, which is Euro USD, and then we'll call it a day. I'm going to be seeing us on Wednesday again, but before we do that, let's quickly look at Euro USD. Euro USD Surprisingly, USD is very, very, it's not surprisingly anyway, it's expected. USD is very strong. This is how price opened. The price opened with a gap down this morning, beating euro hands down. And it was funny because gold was doing the direct opposite. Normally, when euro USD is going down, gold actually is going down. So there's always some level of correlation between their charts. When euro USD is going up, gold is also going up most of the times. Because most of the times, what affects euro USD affects gold because both of them have the same pair. All right. Both of them have the same quote pair, and that's USD. So Euro USD, Gold USD. That's why we have ZAO USD, right? So most of the times when dollar is weak, gold goes up, Euro USD goes up also. But in this case, dollar is actually strong, but gold is going up. But that's why I said no matter what's going to happen, gold will find a way to go up because it's not about the tension. It's, there's a there is already we already have the upward trend movement. There's already the upward trend potential already on gold, even before the news. All right. So the news and everything happening is just supporting that momentum, supporting that trend that has already been a bullish trend for a long time. So you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, for Euro USD, we are seeing this massive, of course, bearish candle pushing to the downside. Currently, where it is right now is a level of minor support. But I still believe price is still going to be getting to this point before the end of today, right? And then if price is able to break that, we have this major level here. And we have seen this is a lower low right now. This was a lower low, this was a lower low, this was a lower high, lower high. So this is clearly a downward trend. There should be some level of retracement to the upside anyway, but we want to see that retracement when price gets to 1.16833. So if I go to the 1 hour time frame right now, what we are expecting, of course, price to buy a little bit right now at 1.16833. So for Euro USD, this is what I think we want to do. Let's quickly move to the 15 minutes time frame. On the 15 minutes time frame, now it's a zone. So don't forget, let me go and mark the zone for you. So you know it's a zone. It's not really a price point. Let's go to the 4 hour time frame. So this is the zone. Um, so this is the zone, guys. This is the zone. This is the zone. So if you look at it, price already at that zone, but we should see some level of, price should be able to still attack it a little bit, right? I'm moving to the 15 minutes time frame right now. So it's a zone. And what we are expecting is that there are two things that we're expecting. Is it that price should be able to give you a reversal around this zone, or should be able to, come to 1.16833 before we have that reversal. This movement is a bubble in the market. I repeat, even though yes, dollar is strong, this movement is a bubble in the market and it's bound to cool off. It's bound to pop. At the pop of this movement, we should see price retracing over 50% of this candle. All right, of that daily candle. You should see a 50% retracement. Whether it's happening today, whether it's going to be completed tomorrow, it should happen. It will happen. So what you are doing is you are paying attention to when that begins to happen. Entering a sell now, let me just quickly tell you, is quite dangerous because price is already oversold already. Price could reverse at any time. Entering the sell now is very, very dangerous. So what you want to do is that you want to wait for a buy pullback, right? For you to be able to take proper advantage of movement, you want to wait for a buy pullback. So we are expecting price to actually come, to attack this level at 1.16833, right? Before pushing back a wave on a buy pullback. So what I want to do is that I can have a buy limit at 1.6833. So what we want to do for Euro USD, let me quickly give you. So there are two ways you can enter, which I'm also going to be telling you now very quickly. So Euro USD, buy preference, right? So our first entry is buy limits at 1.16833. Stop loss just below the structure, 1.16642. 1.16642. TP, please leave it opened with break even. All right. Now, this is if price actually gets to this particular zone. If price gets here, because it's already within the zone. But if price doesn't get there and we begin to now see a break and retest, we begin to see price. Now, the last high, this is the last high, guys. This is the last high on the 15 minutes time frame. If you go to the 5 minutes time frame, you're going to see this clearly. Let's go to the 5 minutes time frame. Okay, good. This is the last high on the 5 minutes time. This is the last major high on the 5 minutes time frame. This is the last major high. So for you to confirm, if price does not get to 1.16833, what you want to wait for is for price to take out this high at 1.17166. If price doesn't get here and then price begins to trade to the upside and then takes out this high at 1.17166, just wait for a retest. The retest of that zone is going to be around this point. Let me mark the retest for you. This is the retest, guys. Just wait for the retests. Just wait for the retest of that zone. Just wait for that retest. So this is the retest. This is how the retest is going to look like. So if you notice, I'm marking the body of the candle to the eye of the candle, right? So we want to expect price. We expect price to actually break, to actually go up at 1.16833. That's we have a buy limit here already. But in case price doesn't get here, because like I said, it's already within the zone for a buy pullback. If price doesn't get here, then you want to wait for price to actually break out. So if price gets to this point and then begins to give you that upward structure, and price breaks out 1.17166, and then retest that zone within this level, you can take your buy with your stop loss just below this structure here. Your take profits opened. At least you should be able to. Your take profit should be anywhere around this zone, around this level. For your take profits 1, take profits 2, you can go for this, which is the beginning of the gap. I think this take profit 1 is good enough because that's where the gap. The gap opened here around here. This was where the gap started from. So price could actually cover this gap upwards. But if you're going for a solid take profit, 1.17566 is a very good zone. It's a very good point to get out of the trade in profits. And if price breaks that point, then you want to break even on that trade and then begin to do what is called a trailing stop loss, which means you are putting your money, putting your stop loss into the money as price begins to move in your direction. So this is for Euro USD, and this is the 4 major things we're looking out for today: Euro USD, gold, BTC USD, and crude oil. These are the 4 major things. So for Euro USD, we're expecting a buy pullback. For gold, we're expecting price to actually, give us that retracement. So we're expecting price to actually push down, right? We're expecting price to actually push down on gold. Let's go to where I marked this. Yeah. So we're expecting price to actually push to this point here on gold. 5383.53, and then we take our buy, or price to break out 5418.67 and then retest it, we take our buy. All right. For BTC USD, I've told us also that we are expecting price to actually come down to 65229.99, 65229.99 before you can actually take a buy. All these things happening right now is just a retest of either this structure, right? Could be a retest of this structure, a retest of this major structures here. So this has been on a downward trend trajectory. And if you look at this interestingly also on the 5 minutes, interestingly, I'm just saying this right now. So let me quickly show us what I'm saying. Interestingly, this could also be a potential, but we only confirm this if this high is taken out. That's why I said that we should put out, if you are scalping, put your stop loss here. So if this high is taken out, so let me just mark this out for you. Guys, BTC USD, we're expecting a buy, of course, at this level. But in case we don't get that point, I told you to put your stop loss here because this was the high that caused this low, right? If this high is taken out at 66073.86, then a retest of that high should give you your buy. So 2 things. If price comes here, buy. If price takes this high out and then retest this, you still buy, right? Take profit, leave it open, and break even when you see major price movements. All right. So that concludes it for us. There are still other major news that are coming out this week, but for now, this is the major news that we're going to be looking at. So on Wednesday, I'm going to be talking about other news. So between now and Wednesday, I think the market might not pay attention to any other thing than the major breaking news coming from the United States and also from Pakistan and Afghanistan, and how it also affects the United States, because any war happening must affect a major country of concern, a major country of concern when it comes to the global financial market, for that to have an impact on the market. All right. So OPEC is meeting today also. So don't forget, they're going to be having a meeting today, and the outcome of the meeting also is going to be determining what's going to be happening with the price of crude oil. All right. So this majorly gives us some very good opportunities this week to actually make money. Guys, don't sleep on it. This is the reason why I do a lot to make sure that beyond just giving you buy and sell, you can actually take this trade, because there could be a surge at any time. And understanding this break and retest strategy, as simple as it is, can give you a upper hand. All you just need to do, don't freeze. For example, you took a sell trade here, price takes you out. Don't freeze, guys. Enter the trade again at the retest. Price retest these points, for enter again for your buy, put your stop loss. Don't freeze. Don't freeze. And this is the reason why you should not look at doubling your account or tripling your account by taking so much leverage and over leveraging your account using big lot size, because there could be an opportunity at any time and then you don't have enough capital. All right, so you can see that price is about taking out, and I can also see a higher low here. This is a higher low. So this is the reason why I said I'm seeing some things on BTC USD. So if this is taken out, a retest of this point should give us a very good buy opportunity. Once price gets to that point, enter your buy, stop loss. You can put it below and then watch what price wants to do. All right. So if do we have any questions? So far so good for me. I know that we've been asking questions, and of course many people have been okay. Oh, the trade on gold is a buy limit, so buy limit, not buy stop. Buy limit. Buy limit, not buy stop. Do you have any other question? All right. If there's no other question, I want to say break even. BE means break even. Break even. What break even means is that when price goes in your direction, instead of you coming out of the trade, you just break even. You move your stop loss from where it is to where you entered. It means you have taken out the risk of the trade. And then as price begins to go in your direction, you begin to modify your stop loss into the money, into your profits, little by little. So that way you don't get out early. At the same time, that is when you know that price has the potential to move for a long time. You don't do it when price is moving in a short time. If you know that price has the potential to move for a long time, mostly on gold, crude oil, D30, all these things move for a long time. Mostly if you get a very good trend, then you want to break even on those trades. So break even means moving your stop loss, modifying your stop loss as price is moving in your direction, in your favor, so that you can begin to secure your profit little by little without getting out of the trade, without closing the trade. So you are securing your profits by modifying your stop loss as price is moving. Okay. So guys, I want to thank everybody who have been here. Those people that came early, I want to say very big thank you to you. Those that came later on, I want to say very big thank you to everyone. I can see Mr. Ruby Emmanuel Ogbaji. Thank you so much. I think this is the first time I'm seeing you, Mr. Emmanuel. It's a fantastic time to have you in the house. Thank you so very much. I can also see Confidence. Wonderful time to have you in the house. I can see Emmanuel AK or EK. I think that AK or EK. I'm not sure, but pardon me if I got it wrong. I really appreciate your presence. Thank you so much. I want to see more of us, guys. I want to see more of us. This month we're going to be doing a lot together. NFP is coming up on Friday. If you know, you know. Last time we made some very good profits. This time hopefully we're going to make profit again, because you know that past results does not guarantee future future experience, right? So, but hopefully we're going to be making money again this Friday. So, guys, get yourself prepared. NFP, we're going to be doing it live this Friday, by 2 o'clock, this Friday live, right? So make sure that you get yourself prepared. I can see Godson. Thank you so much, Mr. Godson. I see you. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. John. I see you. Mr. Jonathan, I see you. Thank you so much. I can see Michael Tom. It's a wonderful time to have you, Mr. Michael Tom. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I can see all delete. It's a fantastic time to have you in the house. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning. Now, these are the people I'm mentioning are the people that came later on. I've also given a shout out to those who came early. I'm going to be seeing us on Wednesday, guys. Let's prepare for NFP on Friday. It's going to be wonderful. Guys, this week be very, very alert, right? Be on your chart. Make sure you have funds in your account. Gold is not, is this not a time to be trading gold with $100? If you want to make real money on gold, make sure you have $500 and above, at least for a start. And not just gold, crude oil for a start. The reason why I'm saying this is because you need some very, very good distance. You need some very, very good leverage, mostly if price is moving very volatile. You know, it doesn't mean that you should also over leverage your account because you have big capital. What it means is that you should have that capital to safeguard, some of those trades that you're taking. All right, so that you can have some very good liquidity on ground. When I mean liquidity, I mean you should have some very good cash on ground to be able to take those trades. Price has broken this level, guys, so we're expecting a retest. Don't sleep on it. BTC USD has broken that level. We're expecting a retest. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. Once you get the retest, don't even wait to see a bearish candle. Once we close now, just go on your chart. If you are trading BTC USD, just go on your chart and begin to wait. Once we see a retest of six, once price just come close to this level, jump in. Forget about this thing that is moving now. It's going to come back here. Once it comes back to this particular level and gives you that entry, enter your trade, your stop loss below here. You're pushing this thing or pushing it below, up or pushing it up. All right. So thank you so much, guys. I'm going to be seeing us on Wednesday. Let's have a wonderful week, a profitable week ahead. God bless you all.